let's talk about the science of God. I know. Getting to know God is so stimulating to my intellectual brain and to just my curiosity, honestly. Because when you think about it, you are getting to know this inconceivably big and intelligent entity that is a living being. And as someone with a degree in biomedical sciences and a few months away from being a doctor, I would say I have quite like a scientifically inclined mind, and exploring God's identity and the reality of nature and spiritual matters is, to be honest, the most interesting thing anyone could ever learn about. And a lot of times people put science against God, but that's not understanding that science is simply the study of what God has created. It's exploring our nature as animals, as part of creation, learning how everything is connected and how beautiful that is, because just like each wolf in a wolf pack has a job and each bee in a beehive has a job, and in their community and within their ecosystems, so do we have a job. Each of us has a reason for being here. And just like our physical world has a set of rules and laws, there's also a whole spiritual world with its own laws, and it's completely intertwined with our reality. And what I'm telling you is that there's a being that oversees all of this. Any scientific phenomena that we've observed, because science is literally observation, right? Each physiological process in your body, each migratory pattern from birds, each scale on a fish, each atom, he's involved. He knows about it because he's made it, like he's designed it. And I think many people don't understand the complexity of everything around us. I remember in an animal physiology class, just the minute and the perfect details that some animals had that allow them, well, not some, all animals have that allow them to be perfectly adapted to their environment. And none of that is random. There's this amazing intelligence behind it all. And the craziest thing about all of this is that you shouldn't just take my word for it, because I'm telling you that any of you can directly interact with this entity. You can ask him to show you. You can literally connect with him, our God, the creator of the universe, the one and only Jesus Christ. When I get close to him and feel his presence, I describe it as a huge ball of like love, joy, and life. The feeling when you see something really stunning in nature and you're in awe and you like feel one with nature. It's basically that, but times a million. And this realization changes everything. It shifts your understanding of reality. Things that you thought were fact end up being wrong. And that's a big and heavy thing to go through, I'm not gonna lie. It's like this unending research project with infinite mysteries to solve, but about your own life. And the good thing is it gives you real power in the world. God will equip you to defeat negative things in your life, and you'll have supernatural experiences which are impossible in our set of laws. But nothing is impossible with Jesus, because he is just so much bigger than us. And yeah, do you get what I'm saying? Do you understand how crazy that is? All of our human sciences, philosophy, etc., we're only investigating the mysteries of God, of his creation. Why are we human? What's our purpose? All of those existential, uncomfortable questions that we like to avoid. And we have the answer. It's because God, this entity, created us. He is the source of all beauty. So imagine how beautiful he is. Imagine the most beautiful sunset you've ever seen, or the most beautiful eyes. That beauty is him. And that's just so cool. And just like the bee, just like the ant, we have our own story, our own job. Although ours is more complex, but this comes with more complex intelligence and free will. The thing about free will, though, is that God is omniscient. He already knows what decisions future us are going to make, and he's already taken all of that into account in creating his perfect plan, in crafting his perfect destiny for you. And when you choose to walk with him, you are literally protected because you are predestined in this complex and beautiful way. And no matter what happens, you are eternally connected to the source of life. And all these people talking about feeling like they're in a simulation and stuff, I suppose in a way we are, because we have souls. We have these eternal souls that are past our physical bodies, and people seem to have an innate awareness of this. This life that we have on earth, this is a trial run. This is just a small bit, because life is so much bigger than this. And this world that we live in today, it's run by the forces of evil. I think that's quite obvious. And I know people don't like hearing about the devil, but he's real. And pretending like something isn't there is not going to make it go away. On the contrary, it's in your knowledge that you have power. And that's why this world is so poopy. It's so unfair. It's so full of sorrow and suffering. And it's obviously very much to the benefit of those running the world to keep as many in the dark as possible. Because if you don't know the truth, you don't have the power against them. And when you do try and share the truth, people look at you like you're crazy. Which, whatever, that's fine. But the truth often sounds crazy. And I pray that your critical thinking and your discernment will grow in Jesus' name, and that you will have eyes to see the truth of the world. Let me ask you this. Why do you think we're so different from the rest of nature? Like all of creation? Because when I'm scrubbed into surgery, it reminds me how much we are animals. We are flesh, we are muscle, we are bone, just like your cat. So why? And it's not just, you can't just say cortical folding, because the cerebral cortex of many other mammals in relative size are quite close to us, but they're just not us. And I'll tell you why. It's because God tells us He made us in His image. We create because He creates. We laugh because He laughs. We have such special bonds and love with each other because He does. Do you get what I'm saying? And so many are asleep to this truth, to what reality truly is. And honestly, when you start digging, you'll find that everything leads to Jesus Christ. God literally came down as a human, Jesus, so that we can understand His nature a bit better. Because how else could we understand this huge entity as a humans? How does He translate? And He's also given us a book that is like no other book in human history. It was written by different authors, different languages, different time periods, different regions. People didn't communicate with each other back then like we do today, and somehow this book has the most cross-references ever, and everything ties together. Every prophecy it makes, it says has come to pass and will come to pass, because the Bible is not human work. And I think many people, including many Christians, don't understand the magnitude of this. This life is just not all there is. It's like a tiny piece, because our souls are eternal. What is one of the biggest laws in our physical world? Energy is neither created nor destroyed, only transformed. What do you think happens to life? Just some food for thought. Thank you.